Welcome, Wild Heart, to this week episode. This week, I'm gonna dive deep into sexuality as a way to explore yourself and to go deeper into your healing as a pathway, as a portal of connection with yourself, and why this actually starts with you, not with someone else. If it's your first time here, I am Raiz. I'm your host, and I'm happy to have you here. I talk in here about my deep experiences and all the awakenings that I've been having through my own sexuality and its exploration. And why hard today, we are talking about why sexuality, real sexuality, is not a performance, and it starts within yourself alone before everyone else is in the room, which is the most amazing thing. So I'm going to start dropping into your body. So I invite you to check how it's your body positioning, if you're open your chest or if you're more contract, if you're lie down. How's the rhythm of your breathing? How you feeling? This is already sexuality, this awareness into your sexual energy, into the opening of your heart. That is already an opportunity that you have to connect with your own pleasure, with your own presence. And that's what changed everything. That changed how you live your daily life, how you connect with this area of your life that touch so deeper layers, and it's the root of all. It's the creativity, it's the expression, it's authenticity, and so much more. So I want to talk about this, and I think it's so important because we learn what was available to learn about sexuality, not anymore, thank God. It was pornography, and in pornography you are not gonna learn how to touch your own body. You're gonna learn how to performance from the mind, calculating every single movement, breathing, and make it as an expression of your willing to please others. So with that code in our mindset, in our conditioning, what we wanted to transform into this episode, what I want you to take from this episode is actually, it's quite the opposite. And the truth comes when you are able to explore yourself with the most freedom that you can. Like when you are willing to explore every single part of your body and understand what is bringing you into an arousal of energy, and also learning how to amplify that sensation and willing to expand from your own body, but also through your breathing, being able to move it upper to the other chakra. So I'm really happy to have you here. If this calls your attention, we're gonna talk deeper about this. So I want to start telling you that this exists because of my own experience. My whole life I've been curious about sexuality, but in my own self-exploration, because of my sensuality, of being so alive in my senses, I was always curious of what else is possible. And this question opens so many portals for me and my pleasure in my own sovereignty around the expression of my sexuality. So I want to share it with you because the curiosity was always there, but there was a period in my life that, if you've been listening to this podcast, you already know that I came from trauma into a deeper awareness of my divine self and also a deeper connection to my body. So it's important to understand that sexuality, it is connected to vulnerability. It is connected to this naked self, but it's not just your physical body that is naked, is all your body. It's the emotional, the spiritual, the mental. It's every single one of them, the energetic, every single one of them are in this space of vulnerability. So if you're not anchored in your own vulnerability, if you don't know how to receive your own vulnerability, tenderness, whatever there is alive, how you can receive yourself, how you can show yourself from a space of sovereignty and courage to another or another one's, when you want to share your sexuality, right? It's really simple to think it this way, but it's so mixed up that I think this conversation is so important for the same reason. So I had a lot of sex in the past, and it wasn't mine. It didn't belong to me because I was trying to please other people. I was trying and I was focusing my attention during the encounter about making the other feel seen, making the other feel good, making the other feel pleasure. But I was not paying attention to my own body, to my own needs, and I didn't knew how to ask for it. I didn't knew how to, especially in my teenage years, I was just curious about it, but my body was present, but I was not. I was totally dissociated or putting into my mind into the other person before thinking of myself. So I know how it feels to be disconnected in this kind of moments. And I know how you feel to hide your vulnerability, trying to do everything for someone else and not actually like focusing on being a better partner and not focusing in your own body, what I actually want, what I need right now. So I'm gonna ask you that. What do you want? What do you need in your own body when no one is watching? When no one has the opportunity to see you, where are you with your body? You know how to bring this space of pleasure. You know how to bring this space of intimacy and vulnerability with yourself, how that looks like. And I just want to sink that for a moment. And after years of doing these works, I created this portal of transformation, the erotic sovereignty method, and you can build authentic intimacy with another person, but it needs to start with yourself. It needs to start to build something deeper with yourself. It is a deeper level of intimacy, and yeah, it's not about the clothes actually. So this is how we move in this episode today. Let's talk about why sexuality is a healing path, not a hobby, not an aesthetic thing, not a performance. It is a path. Your sexuality is one of the few places in your life where your nervous system, your story, your attachment patterns, your shame, your joy, all show up at the same time in the same body, and nothing is there to hide. So a lot of clients come to me because they have like these experiences where they are like, okay, this is a lot to unfold. And it's because sexuality allows transparency. You can finally meet yourself in that intimacy. You can finally see yourself vulnerable. And yeah, there's nowhere that you can hide from this experience. You can intellect your way around like almost everything in life, but you cannot intellectualize around how your body feels frozen or numb or is performing. And that is truth. That is your body showing you truth, showing you where you are at your path. And this is why sexuality heals. Not because it feels good, although yes, of course it can be a wave of expansion, but it heals because it is honest. It shows you exactly where you are. That's like the power of sexuality. And this is where I want to be really direct with you. Healing through sexuality doesn't require a partner. It doesn't require an event. It is start with your own permission. When you allow yourself to give that permission, to give that potent question of, I'm gonna allow myself to do that, right? And ask for permission to your own body can change your whole life, your whole sex life. Most of us, we never been thought about asking for permission to our own body or asking to our own body for anything, basically. So what happened when you start doing that? What happened when you start to allow yourself, instead of like override it or pushing through or performing desire that you don't feel, or say yes when your body was screaming no? The first practice is actually super simple and it's radical. Before you touch yourself, before you move, before you breathe deeper into your body, ask, can I touch myself here? It is okay this right now. I am open to receive my own touch. What do I actually want in my body? This is literally a portal itself. I invite you to practice this if you want to start to connect with your sexuality in a deeper layer. Start asking to your own body, loud or in silence. You can express it in words or you can say it in your own mind, but then make a pause and wait for the answer, because that is what changed everything. That's what changed the game. Not the answer in your mind that your mind wants to give, like maybe you have already everything prepared and you're ready to do it, and then your body is saying, nah, no. Allow that answer to show up as a sensation, as an ease, as a contraction. Your body speaks a different language and you need to become a master into hearing it. You need to help that breath and then finally releasing. With this single practice, just asking and actually listening, actually making that pause to listen, you're training yourself to pay attention into your body. And it's a doorway to everything that we're gonna keep talking about today. So, the body as an opportunity, not as an obstacle. This is so important because once you start asking for permission, something shifts. You stop treating your body like a project to manage, or you start treating it in like a place you actually live. Yes, because my love, my wild heart, you live in this body. So what is something more important that honor your own temple, that honor your sacred sanctuary where you are spending the rest of your life with, right? Sexuality approaches this way because it becomes an opportunity, and it's to be in your own body, not think about your body, not evaluate your body in a mirror, be in it from inside. It's something that you need to experience rather than that be in your mind about it. And here it's when the magic starts to happen, because this starts to become a playground. Yes, a playground. So when you start honoring your body, when you start hearing it and waiting for the actual response, sexuality, it is a playground. And there's so much possibilities because you're not performing anymore. You're actually wanting to know your truth, wanting to know what actually turns you on, what actually it's an arousal for you, what makes you feel pleasure, where you feel more pleasure. This is the yummy part, and it's the most exciting part of the journey because everything is possible and you start to develop a deeper intimacy with yourself because you understand what is important for you. Yes, I will let that sink in for a moment. So, this portal into sexuality starts to be a place where you allow yourself to try things, to get wrong. This is so important. To get wrong, to try things and get wrong. Oh my gosh, yes, because that's the only way that you know you're no, right? Yes, to laugh, to stop, to start again. No one is watching you. No one is judging you. And when you start practicing this, oh my God, you actually understand that that voice that was judging you, it was never someone in outside world. It was actually yourself. It was actually yourself that you didn't allow yourself to feel comfortable with the uncomfortability of not knowing what do you like, right? This is so empowering, and this is a yummy path. Of course, why I have my one-on-one mentorship is because I guide you through this process, right? But this is not a limitant to do it by yourself and to explore your own capacity and ways to feel pleasure. Think about when we were children in a playground and nobody taught them how they do it correctly, right? This is the key, because you go, you play with freedom, not thinking about anything, but then you adjust and you go again and you try again. And somewhere along the way, you're going to start to feel deeper and deeper connected with your own body. And sex becomes something for yourself, something to honor yourself. A playground has no audience. A playground is a safe place, a sacred sanctuary to explore desire without judgment. Yes, I love this phrase so much. And I remember in my healing process with sexuality that I was spending 2 days just exploring my body, just exploring my desire, just making love with myself, just exploring everywhere in my house, every single position, every single point of my body of how I can feel pleasure. It was not rules, it was not time, it was only this deep presence with myself, understanding what was important for me and how I arrive into a pleasure moment, how I arrive into my numbness, how I arrive into my frustration, what I don't like. It was key, and I trespass you are something that you can allow yourself to explore and show up into this journey, because I'm really sure that it's gonna surprise you. And please tell me how the experience goes. Comment here, follow along this podcast, subscribe, express how this is supporting you in your life right now if you try it. So, and most people are so busy judging their desires that they never actually get to know them. Oh my God, please promise me, you that are in the other side of the screen, yes, you, my heart, promise me that you're not gonna die before you try all your desires in this body, this holy container, this holy vessel that you have. Don't miss that opportunity. It's way more important than you think, and it's gonna impact all the areas of your life. So promise me that you're gonna keep your best into discipline, into this part of your body, sexuality as a playground. Self-love and returning to organic movement. Okay, this episode is a lot about how conditioning shut us down, how conditioning teach us to be disconnected from the most basic human things and the most natural way to be a human being. So when you start exploring, that's something specific and measurable That is going to increase your self-love. Even if you're not doing it for that reason, you're going to immediately start to love yourself deeper because you're witnessing your pleasure. You are worshiping your own body. Your body, it's full of water. What happened when there is a lot of exercise or research about this. When you have like two plants and one you put music and you would say words of affirmation, you give like more water, whatever it is, the plant start to feel better and start to show a better growth. You're the same, my love. You're the same, wild heart. You're the same. So imagine if you are putting this much effort on this relationship with yourself, in this vulnerability with yourself, in this exploration into your own pleasure, what is going to naturally happen? Of course, you're going to love yourself deeper. And when you love yourself deeper, that creates a whole protection container of magnetic energy that is gonna give you a different posture in the world. This is why sexuality, it is connected to the first chakra, the roots, because it also can show how you stand up in this life. Not just the physical standing, also how you carry yourself through life, how you take your space for creativity, how you impact the world that you are. Yes. Yes. This is the kind of work that I'm here to do. And I'm happy to be sharing this because I think it's going to change your whole life. I'm telling you, it's going to change your whole life. Do it. Do it for yourself. Something also that happens, and it's a lot that people miss through sexuality, is movement. Especially movement from the pelvis, right? We're used to like really compact movement into sexuality. That is basically one and for like moving like this, you know what I mean? What happened when we actually use our nature of movement into sexuality? What happened if in your exploration you start to open your chest, you start to circulate your pelvis? What happened with that energy? For the ones that meditate, what happened when you are in a deep meditation and your spine just naturally start to move by itself like in a spiral? Everything in nature, if you go and look nature with a little bit of detail, you're gonna see spirals everywhere. We're not meant to be seated all day. We're not meant to be walking just like this. We're meant to habit this sacred body, this sacred basal. The more that we can do in our sexuality, the more that we can expand and make it into a dance. I have playlists for you also if you want to explore this. I'm going to leave it here in the caption. What happened? You start to open and you're going to immediately see how all the tension in your jaw is actually a mirror from the tension in your pelvis. And how when you soften your pelvis, how when you open your pelvis, oh my God, the yummy part is start to happen. The nourishing, the water start to flow different. Think when you move yourself through your day, when you have like gym exercise or you go to run, whatever it is, how you feel after. Full of life, right? So what happened if we bring this into your exploration with sexuality? What can change? Underneath all of these layers of domestication, I like to say, there is contained movement, and there is an organic one. You can start with an 8 figure, so you can move your pelvic, you can move your hips in an 8 shape. and allow yourself to relax into the movement. So while you're making love with yourself, in whatever position you are, you can try to move your spine like this, like an and start to move your spine like a wave. Just follow the natural rhythms. Just follow how nature moves. You are nature, wild heart. And this kind of movements open up even deeper your body. This kind of movements is gonna invite you to expand even more, right? So the pelvis, it's storing an enormous amount of tension, and it's held a story held no. So when you give yourself permission to move again, that pelvis, without a goal, without trying to look sexy or whatever, it's just because you're following the natural rhythm. The system finally, your body finally exhales. You're finally letting go. What happened when you let go? What happened when you open that portal and you finally release, you finally surrender? What happened? Your sexual energy runs into your body and flows like a river again, and just start to give this excitement every single cell in your body. It is important. There is a lot of mysticisms that already know this, already practice this. There is a lot of feminine mysteries that are awakening with this that I'm telling you. And it's so important because this is somatic work. This is a literal form to coming back into the organic. And I'm telling, like this, I tell a lot to my clients, like your pelvis is not just an area of your body, it's an archive. And movement is how you finally read this archive. How interesting. What secrets are there? So I invite you to this and tell me what happened. Oh my God. I want to open a community soon. And I want to keep this kind of practices. I want to dance with people. I want to bring it into their bodies. I want to bring it into their pelvis. And yeah, if you're interested, if you want to join, let me know, because you can subscribe to my newsletter and you're probably going to receive there when it's available. So, subjects, and the first one is diving into the unconscious. This is so important because I remember when I had no money to pay anyone to support me into here, I had myself, meditation, and my voice, my inner voice, my inner guidance telling me where I need to look at. And I used life as a teacher. So I didn't receive any of the experiences that I were going through as something random. I choose to stay present into my unconscious world in order to understand what was my responsibility in the experience that I was having every moment in my life. And that was the base of all the work that I do now. All the work that I do into dive myself and dive the unconscious part to see the face of that part that I probably don't see it so easily, to dive, to like take that. So this is why sexuality is such a powerful tool as well, because it's genuinely so fascinating to me. And it's the part of most of us like why it's so important to talk about sexuality publicly. So explore slow and honest your sexuality becomes an opportunity to dive your unconscious mind and its desires. Self-exploration in the deepest sense of the world. Desire doesn't start in the thinking mind. It rises from somewhere older, somewhere that doesn't use the language first. That It's exactly why desire so often confuses us and it doesn't explain itself. It just show up. And most of us respond to that confusion by suppressing it or acting out without ever actually understanding. There's a third option. Get curious. Follow the desire like a thread instead of a thread. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that two words correctly, but you understand. As if it was protecting you, or what is actually remembering, what is actually asking for underneath the surface request. This is shadow work, and what is most fascinating for me, but it's a shadow work that you can only do through your own body. That's the magic, because the unconscious mind doesn't keep records in a journal. It keeps them in your skin and your breath, in the way that you hold your muscles and the way that you connect with yourself. So this is like deep self-exploration. And when you meet yourself through sexuality, into self-exploration, it's a powerful tool to change everything. Change everything. And the last topic is freedom. I want to close this episode with the language that I actually think that I'm talking about. And because some of this doesn't actually translate the same way in English, I'm just going to express it in Spanish. La libertad sexual es un regalo. Sexual freedom is a gift. Not something you have earned through performance, not something that you granted to you by someone else's approval, a gift that always it's yours, waiting to be unwrapped. Poder experimentar más allá de lo que es éticamente y socialmente aceptado. Oh my goodness. Being able to explore beyond what is considered ethically and socially accepted inside of a container of the real consent and real safety. It's not indulgence, it's information. This is when I love to connect my work with Tantra massage with the kink world, with the BDSM community. Because in my own experience, I needed both. I needed to understand my body as a sacred temple, but I also needed to understand my deepest and darkness, shadows into sexuality, because it has so much information and it is way beyond what society accepted. And that is a good journey, because what society teaches, pornography, how it domesticate you, that women are not receiving the same pleasure as men, then how that can be correct, how society can be correct around sexuality. If it's, you need to be a rebel, you need to be a visionary and bring this awareness here for the next generations, for the next people. I always remember something that it really shocked me, because I was talking with a dad that he was just learning Tantra massage. And I asked him by curiosity, are you going to share this with your children? He has only men. And he said no. He just learned a powerful tool for self-exploration and for self-sovereignty. And he was not willing to share it with his children. I was shocked. This is how much damage society just for make it sexuality as something sinful. It's made us as humans. So if you take one of these things that I just share with you, don't start with a partner. Don't start with a technique. Start with yourself in a quiet room, asking your own body one honest question, and start to dance, and start to feel, and start to enjoy your own body. that's a whole journey itself, and it just keep going deeper from there. So thank you, Wild Heart. Thank you for being here. Thank you for staying till the end. This episode, it's really fired me up. It's why I'm here, and it's part of my work. And I hope that this stays for you, with you along the way. You can find me on Instagram as Raiz El Mar, and you can go deeper into this work with real structure and support with the erotic sovereignty method. So it's open to receive new people in here, and the details are also in the captions. Subscribe, share it with someone that you think that is going to resonate with this, and until the next time, come home to your own body.